as usual, let's start by setting up the body. I'll come forward a little bit for now. Feet together, turn them out at 10 to 2. Lift your heels behind. Lengthen the neck. Shoulders down and back. Neutral spine. Pelvic floor lifted. Core engaged. Look, so go from here to here. And that's you set up. It's just the breathing through the ribs. So you inhale. See my fingertips come apart. Exhale. See them come back together. That's lateral thoracic breathing. Now that's a really quick setup because we've been doing it week on week on week, and I don't want my regulars to get bored. But at this point, I must say that this is your body. You're responsible here in here in not so sunny Shropshire when I can't see you. So if anything hurts, immediately stop. If you're not used to exercise, or your doctor or somebody has said don't exercise, then don't do it. You have to look after your own body. Take some responsibility. But otherwise, enjoy and do this alongside me. You can save it and do it as many times as you like. You can pay me, that'd be really lovely. Message me for your my bank details. Loads of people are paying me, and I'm really, really grateful, and I'm so glad you're all here, and I hope it makes you feel good. So before we actually do the mobilization, we're going to do the HIIT first, which is going to really warm up those legs and thighs. So the HIIT we're doing is squats. Squats can be done here with my feet facing the front, and my knees always track my feet. So none of this business, none of this business. So you need to keep your knees static. So while you're doing that, have a think about not scrunching the floor with your toes, just pressing your toes down on the floor and slightly, as though somebody's just pushing your knees like that, out, sideways, slightly, that's all. And then if you can maintain that, it's just lifting the weight off your arches and stopping you from going flat-footed. That's all it's doing. So we are going to work really hard because I know my regulars can. So it's 30 seconds work, 10 seconds rest, times 8. And after that, we're going to do mobilization. So no matter how out of breath you get, you'll have a nice time to calm down. I will show you how to bring this into it if you want to, but we'll start without it for the beginners. Okay, so you've got 8 seconds to prepare. If you get really knackered, I'll show you how you can swap in between to a different type. So here we go, we have 30 seconds. Quite quick. If you have bad knees, you could instead just go down like this. This is still switching your thighs, and keep going everybody else. This is still switching your thighs on, so don't worry if you can't go as fast as you want. But if you've got bad knees, you can still exercise them, and that is what it's all about. It's doing exercise for your body, tailor-made for you. Oh, there we go, so, and rest. So now you've got 10 seconds rest. Oh, hey kitty. Right, next one, if you want to change, we would now go 10 to 2, and take the legs out. You don't let them cave in. It's bad for your knees, bad for your hips. You can bring your arms in to get your heart rate up a little bit if you want to. You don't have to, it's your body. And again, if you've got really bad knees, here, slowly, is probably all you need to do. Okay, so we're catering for everybody that I can't see. There's quite a few people here, but I can't wave at you, I'm afraid. So now I'm going back to the first one, and I'm going to show you how to intensify it or progress it. So I'm just pulling slightly on the band. Bring it up. Oh, that's annoying. Grab it all in there. There, that's better. Yep, gets your heart rate up. As you go down, you should lose sight of your toes. Well done. After this next one, you're halfway through. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. you got any questions, I might be able to see them. Not too sure. Computer's a long way away from me. Kitty. So while we're doing this, we should still be having our neck lengthened. You should still have your shoulders down and back. They're not coming up here like this. They're not coming like this, they're staying down and back. Back to the original. Past halfway. Still got your core engaged. Still got your pelvic floor lifted. If you want to see from the side, I'm sticking my bum out. And I can, if you see, get my elbows to my ears, so that's what I'm going to do. Knees, track your toes. Not like this is really bad. And after this one, we've only got 2 more. Woo! Well done. You're still with me? Who's there? Oh, hi there. Oh. Back to the last one here. Hi, Kez. Hey, kitty. Oh, God. George is in the wires. And after this, you've only got 1 more. 1 more. 30 seconds work. Heart rate's 92. Last one. Go, go, go. Up from the side, it looks like this. Core engaged, floor lifted. Hey, well done. Fantastic. Okay, here we are. Lovely job. Have a breather. Kick your bum to stretch the thighs off. Get rid of that. Shake the shoulders. Right, now we're lovely and warm. We've got the heart rate to 120. Now we're going to go back to do the mobilization. We always start at the top, so we remember. And we're going to do the neck first. We're going to mobilize the neck. So this isn't about gymnastics or forcing anything. It's about mobilizing only. So if you've been sat like this all day and maybe like this, then this is about mobilizing. In fact, I will come forward. So you're a bit nearer so you can see me. Right, take a big inhale. As you exhale, nothing moves except the face. Turns as far as you can to the side without pain, and exhale back. So it's an inhale move and exhale move. And this will get your heart rate down. No bringing the shoulder up to meet the face. Nothing else is moving. If you look from the side, my shoulders are still down and back. Now we're going to look up to the ceiling. You make sure you do matching pair. And now chin to chest. can feel my heart rate coming back to normal. Okay, let's do a couple of circles with the nose. Small first, as long as nothing hurts, and go as big as you like. So I can feel all creaking, which sounds like it's really noisy. Change, but that's just everything stretching, don't worry about it. But I'm not in any pain at all. Okay, we'll stretch the shoulders. Imagine you have a pencil here and a pencil here, and you want to draw some circles. Start small, and then as long as it doesn't hurt, go as big as you like. Later. Keep going. Hi there, Alison. Hi, Kez. Change direction, small. So remember, everything we do, you do a small one first, just to get the right muscles working, so you don't shock them, don't hurt them. Brilliant. Now we're going to bring the whole arm in. So, small circle first, and we want to engage all the muscles, not just flop around like a mad thing. We want to engage all the muscles. Now, nothing's hurting, go big, big, big. And then we're going to change direction. So remember me saying before, proprioception is knowing where your body bits are in relation to your other body bits and the atmosphere around you. So it's a bit of a tough one, but hey, we're going to go one forward, one backwards. You'd be surprised how many people cannot do this. And when you've just got the hang of it, let's change. Sorry. So I'm not trying to trick you or make fun of you. It's something for you to learn, proprioception. You can lose it, you can get it back. Now we're going to do the chest stretch. This is brilliant after you've done press-ups. If you get the DOMs tomorrow here, then this will be perfect. Now notice how my arms aren't dropping down here. They are staying at shoulder. I do see that Instagram keeps losing connection, but Facebook doesn't. What's that all about? Okay, and diagonal. Again, this is a brilliant stretch if you ever get the DOMs, delayed onset muscle soreness here. Okay, I need to stand up now for the next one. So we're just going to work the waist. Move that back a bit. Hands on your hips. Nothing changes. Just spin the hips around. Imagine you're stirring a cup of coffee. Alright, now if that doesn't hurt at all, go much bigger. So from the side, it looks like this. And when you're here, even though I'm still upright, you haven't got a relaxed core, you've still got it engaged. So what you're doing now is you're stretching all the ligaments, sides, fronts, and along the spine. Change direction, small first. And again, if you've got any back issues or you've got an aching back from sitting too long, just do say 4 each way. Okay, now as long as that didn't hurt, you know the score, we go on to this one now. So I'm keeping my hips still, facing the front, hips facing the front, hips facing the front, hips facing the front. Upper body goes around the top. So we now already, by the time we get to here, we've got a nice little stretch, mini stretch in the hamstrings. Nice stretch in the tummy, nice stretch in the side. And as long as it doesn't hurt, you go as big as you like. So now I'm really getting a stretch in those hamstrings. I'm just going to do 3 each way. So one more. And then change direction. This is the easy bit, but this is vital. I wouldn't dream of going on any weights machines, lifting any weights of any sort until I'd done this. Okay, now we want to open up the hips. So we've already done that. We've already warmed them up with all those squats. So we're just going to do a very quick spinning the leg around, which is the first balance. If you need a bit of help, have your arms out to the side. Or here if you're getting good at it, or if you're tremendous, here. So if you notice, I'm not lifting this hip, I'm keeping them level. My toe is just off the floor. And the same on the other side. Again, balance, use it or lose it. If you don't keep, whoops, see look, if you don't keep these neural pathways open between brain and muscles, they shut. And that's why people in their old age fall over so easily, because they don't keep those neural pathways open. Okay, we're just going to swing the leg front to back gently. If you look from the side, I'm keeping my foot flexed. This is pointy, this is flexed. We don't want to bend the standing leg. If you're bending the standing leg, you are defeating the object of trying to get a stretch here. So we just keep that standing leg, gently swing, and then change. Oh yeah, and also you want the foot facing up, not out or in. So it's up. There we are. And just inhale onto your tiptoes, walking around, onto your heels, walking around. And now put your hands on your knees and just dip, dip. So from the front it looks like this. Dip, dip. So I'm just stretching the calf muscles nicely. And go side, side. Skiing. I wish. Lovely job. Right, we're ready now. So the first exercise we're going to do is marching. Now if you're in a class, say you were doing, getting ready to do, a quite hefty, what am I trying to say, fast aerobic class, you would warm up with this and you get faster and faster. But we're not doing an aerobic class. We're doing Pilates where we want to get the muscles long and strong and we want to practice our balance. So instead of doing that, we're going to do it really slowly. Slowly bring it down. Slowly bring it down. So if you're engaging your core, you're getting your balance. Squeeze your bum. Keep going. This is the speed. I haven't slowed it down. This is real. So every time you bring your knee up, squeeze your core. Squeeze it meaning belly button to spine. Engage those abs. You're already getting a workout, and they'll get a workout all the way through if you constantly keep them engaged. Okay, we're going to change it now because I pick it up, bring it up so it's parallel with the ceiling, and then straighten it as best you can. Even if it's only here, or rather here, that's fine. But I can actually straighten mine down and the other side. Okay, from the front. So this is really working that thigh muscle. It's working your balance, and when you get to here, stretching your hamstrings. This is the speed we want to be going. Because if you do it like this, you're not getting any balance. So it's slow. Slow. Controlled. Precise. Ooh, feeling that now. Some of you might be able to go even higher. I can't. Well, a bit, not much. I'm going to do 2 more on each side. One more. That was a lie. 1 more on each side. Yee, done. Well done. Right, shake them off. Right, now we've done loads of times, we've done the archer, which is a balance. And the archer, you start with your hands palm to palm and you draw one arm back. And as you draw it back, you keep your elbow high and you follow your thumb with your eyes. One side and the other side. Now if you're a bit pooped, you can carry on doing that because it is, your hips stay facing the front, so it's a good spine twist. But my lot won't be doing that. They will, as they bring one arm back, they'll be lifting the knee like we just did. And then bring it back. And lift the other one. And this is the speed again. So you're practicing your balance. And then those of you who know me well, we're now going to use this. So it's my bow and arrow. So I now lift this leg and pull the bow and arrow back. So I'm using even more muscles now. Holding it, so from the front, holding it out here, pulling it back and bringing it in. But of course it's difficult because you're now turning your face. So it's a moving balance. I'm looking at you. And keep that movement going. The shorter the band, the harder it is to pull it. Okay, but if that's too difficult, you make the band longer. It's up to you, it's your body. But you shouldn't be trying this if you've never done Pilates before. Look, falling over now. Another top tip about balancing is if you're already wobbling, don't try and move. Get your balance first, then move. Keep that movement, this speed. Got a nice stretch after this one, you'll be pleased to know. So anybody who is new to my classes, remember I tell you now, when you keep going, when you're cleaning your teeth, stand on one foot. When you're cleaning your teeth next time, stand on the other foot. I now stand on one foot and I do this and this and this and this. This is to keep my balance. So you can wobble and wobble and wobble all you like, but try and fight it and get it back. Brilliant, well done. Finish off, make sure you do the same amount on both sides. Okay, next, I'm going to just bring my mat forward, I think. Still see me, can't you? Yeah. Okay, this is a nice stretch. From the front, I've got my knees wide and my toes together. And I've got my hands in front under my shoulders. From the side it looks like this, so I have a nice flat back. Now remember we do cat-cow a lot, pushing my tummy and my back as high up to the ceiling as I can. Cow stretch, without losing that contraction in the belly, I'm taking my belly to floor looking up. That's how we're starting it, back to neutral. And now we're going to progress that. And this is a new move for all my clients. So what we're going to do now is stretch up, take all the weight back and sit down. Come back up, flat back and then cow stretch. Flat back, press up. Flat back, cat stretch. Take it all the way back, sitting back into the bum, heels. All the way back up, flat back. Cow stretch. Flat back, press up. Cat stretch. Take it all the way back. Sitting on the heels. We're going to be upgrading this later, so stick with this now. Back up, flat back. Cow stretch. Flat back, press up. Cat stretch. Sitting back on the heels, stretching the inner thighs. Stretching the bum a little bit too. Back up, flat back, cow stretch, flat back, press up. We're going to do 2 more of those. Cow stretch, sitting back, back up, flat back, cow stretch, flat back, press up. And one more. Cow stretch. No, that's a cat stretch. Sitting back. Back up. Flat back. Cow stretch. Flat back. Press up. All the way back up. Last one, sit back on your heels and have a good old rest here. Really big rest, really big rest. If anybody needs a drink, I've got hot water, cold water. Okie dokie, are we ready? Next one, again, is for the thighs and a terrific one for the bum, and it's the good old curtsy. Now again, we're going to do it in slow-mo, because if you do it quickly, you're not having to rely on your balance, and you're not concentrating or doing it with care and consideration. So, good old curtsy. Start with your feet wide-ish. Take one foot behind, but I'm not turning, I am staying facing the front. And then I curtsy. Now, when you get down here, squeeze your bum. Squeeze your bum back up. Take the leg back out and down to the other side. And squeeze your bum. You're aiming to get your knee on the floor. If you can't, don't worry, this is still a curtsy. It's still using your thigh muscles and your bum. Squeeze. So don't worry, but you can go all the way down. Again, if you want to do, say, 6 on one side, then 6 on the other, which I'm going to do now, then you're just making it a little bit harder because you get to fatigue quicker. And we don't have to do so many. And don't forget, you can also, to improve your balance more, come up to here. That's 4, 5, feeling a bit rock solid here. 6, oh no, 5, yeah, oh gosh, I'm useless. 7, 6, 7, whatever. So now I'm going to do the same on the other side instead of alternating. So it's 1, 2. If you look from the side, I am not leaning forward, I'm staying upright. 4, 5, last one. 6, well done. And I think your shoulders might be aching. And let's just kick your bum. We're doing all right, aren't we? Right, the next one. Somebody was showing me today, I shan't name any names, they're doing a challenge for themselves, I like to do a challenge, about strengthening and lengthening the hamstrings. And the way they're doing this is by seeing how close they can get their body in a forward fold. A better way, I see people doing this badly, not you in particular by the way, but I see some people going like this and it just scares the pants off me because you are going to hurt your back or you could hurt your back. A safer way of doing it is to crouch on the floor, which I'm sure we all can. So from the front I look like this. So I'm supporting myself so I'm not going to fall over. My heels are off the floor. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is start to straighten my legs, push my heels to the floor. If you've got tight hamstrings, this might be it for you, it doesn't matter. Okay, and then we go back down and then back up. You must never go into pain, you just go to a mild tension down here and into the bum. Now my hamstrings are quite good, so I can actually get my legs straight and I go back down again. So for me, I'm going to do a few here, and then when my legs start to relax, these muscles, the stretch reflex, will switch off, and then I'll be able to go a bit further. So what I can do then is move my hands back a little bit and try and keep my head down. I'm not forcing anything at all. And then now my legs have got used to that, I'm going to move my hands back a teeny bit more. And keep going. So you'll notice this is a massive workout for the thighs. and it's the best stretch, the safest stretch for your hamstrings. And what I find myself is 10 of those and I get to my best stretch. So I would say everybody probably, for yourself, we're not in a competition. So if this is your best stretch now, after 10 you might be here. So you have to work on that yourself, and you can do that. I mean, how long does it take, for goodness sake? I reckon it doesn't even take a minute, 45 seconds to do 10 of those. And again, I wouldn't dream of doing anything that involved my hamstrings until I'd stretched them first and mobilised them like that, and that's the quickest way of doing it for me. Okay, next. Bit of a workout for the arms now as well. Now, plank. Let's talk about plank. I like to do high plank, especially for this move, but I have got a little bit of a funny elbow. So high plank, I've got my wrists underneath my shoulders and my knees are underneath my hips. Core's engaged, neck's lengthened. Slide one leg out without lifting the bum at all. So we've still got hips level. When you're comfortable, squeeze this bum, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze everything, and take the other leg out to meet it. This will show you if you can do plank. Come back down. If you can't do plank, you can take one knee out and the other knee out, and although my shoulders are still over my wrists, I have got my knees on the floor as well. So that might be your plank. I know all my people are all doing this plank, and we're not holding it there for very long. So what we're going to do now is push back into down dog. So my feet are hip distance apart and my hands haven't moved. And the more you push here, back, as though you're trying to push that in between your legs, you now get a better stretch down your legs and you get a shoulder stretch as well. So down dog shouldn't hurt. You're easing your feet to the floor, not forcing anything. Now come into high plank and back into down dog. This is where we're staying, and we're going to do loads of these. If your wrists, and I know actually some of you don't, your wrists don't like it, you can go onto your elbows and you can go from here to here. This is dolphin. Here to here, but I don't find it as such a good workout, and of course it hurts my elbow a bit. So I do it here. It's called modifying moves to suit yourself, and that's what everybody should be doing. Now then, some of my guys are so good that in between each one we're going to go down to the floor. Now if you can, and a lot of you can, I know, we go down supporting ourselves, and I know most of you can't get up. So you push up by leaving your knees on the floor and then back into down dog. Down dog. Forward into plank, lower to the floor, knees stay on the floor, pushing up. We're going to add something into that now. So this is a workout, but it's also good stretches. So now we're going to go into high plank. Lower down to the floor, up into Cobra with elbows on the floor if you need them, back down, and back up into down dog. Okay, so it's a bit of a routine, could call it a sun salutation. Forward into high plank, lowering into the floor, up into Cobra, lifting back into down dog. Forward into plank, lowering down to the floor, up into Cobra, keeping the shoulders down and back, back into down dog. Forward into high plank, lowering, rest when you need to. Right, let me just show you the rest is here. Again, back into child pose, into Cobra, back to down dog. So if you started to tire, you can modify any of these moves now to make them easier by putting your knees on the floor. Right, I'm going to do 2 more. That's the one of them. 1 more. And then you can stay in child pose. So from your Cobra into child pose. Now I know what most of you need. Your wrists are screaming at you, aren't they? So shake them off. Shake them off and snake them. So by the way, I have burnt 111 calories so far. Not so bad, is it really? And the other way. Right, the next few are lying down. Okay, so we're going to do a side leg kick series. And what this is doing is it's working the outer thigh only and the outer bum, hip, and the side muscles. So this is a very precise move because if you look at me end on, if I'm in any sort of jackknife position, then I'll be using the wrong muscles. I need to be in a straight line. I need my hips straight up to the ceiling, as in not forward, not backwards, in a straight line. If you've got bony hips, I wish I had, you might just grab this and shove it under your hip just for a bit of extra padding. But I don't need that. So as long as you're in this position, you're in the right position. Next pointer, and this happens if in bed as well. If you're sleeping in bed and you let your waist sag into the floor and this hip then rises. So if you spend hours at night, even with your legs bent, with this hip up here, it isn't going to be long before it starts to ache. So what you need to try and do is push that hip on top of the other one and you slightly raise this off the floor. Now if you need help with that in bed, you could just roll a towel up and put it underneath. But I did show a video where I had a stripe down my back and it showed how my spine was bent, but if I did that it wasn't, with a towel under it. And when I hurt my back, that's what I was doing. But anyway, back to what we were doing. So I'm quite relaxed here. Everything's relaxed. This is going to help me balance by putting it on the floor in the front. Now, I've got my hips level. Rather than pointy toes are pretty, but we, for this, definitely want to flex our feet. The bottom leg is going to stay on the floor. Top leg is going to raise and lower. And remember what I said about facing the front. If you let your foot turn at all towards the ceiling, oh yeah, look how high I can get my leg. But I'm now using these muscles, and we've used these all class. So bring it back down, turn that toe to the front, and that is what switches on these side muscles. Okay, so you haven't got as much movement. As soon as your foot starts to turn, stop, because you're defeating the object of this particular exercise. Now I know I've got a lot of people here who are experts, so you can take this off the floor and go here. Now what this does, it makes you work really hard keeping your balance. So then your core is engaged more and working more. And then I also have some that lift both feet off slightly and then lift the top. So if you're doing that, that's absolutely fine. But we modify the exercise to suit yourself. So you can do it very easily with one foot on the floor. And this is the speed. Because again, if you throw your leg up, you're using momentum, not power. Not gripping the floor. Keep your core engaged, pelvic floor lifted, my neck is nicely resting on my ear. You can also use a block if you need to. Those of you, some of you know that. Some of you know that and do that all the time. So can you feel already? It's these muscles working, these here. It's brilliant. Just by slowing it down and being precise. Now I'm going to do a cheeky 10 pulses at the top now. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's just overloading. And boy, yes, that was overloading. Right, stretch all this off, bring your knee forward and drop it to the floor. And relax. If you're not getting a stretch in your bum, it's because you've brought the whole lot forward. Go back here and keep this hip above and then drop to the floor. And that's what is giving you the stretch here. And if you want to, you can bash it and that gets blood flow nice and quickly. Nice stretch. Next, we're going to do the other side. So I'm going to flip over because I don't want to lose sight of you. Same position. I'm resting my upper body, hand in front for balance. Hips on top of each other, not sagging into the floor. Feet flexed, hips straight to the top. First of all, just lift the side. Hi. Yeah. Yeah, thank you. And then don't forget, if you want to, you can lift the bottom leg as well. Oh. Where's George? Cobra. Still got your core engaged, still got your floor lifted. Neck should be relaxed. Right, I'm going to do a cheeky 10 at the top. Pulse, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Lower it down gently. Bend the knee. Keeping the hips where they are, drop it to the floor. Loads of people, when we're doing this stretch, perhaps if I do it from the end on, you might be able to see better. When we're doing this stretch, people go, oh, I can't feel anything. But if you notice, I've just gone and flopped into it. If I keep my hips one on top of the other, bring the knee up without moving my hips, then drop it to the floor, that's when I get the stretch. I hope you can see that. And you can do that in bed before you get out of bed. Brilliant. Okay. Next series is a whole bunch of different exercises for shoulder bridge. So we're going to start with the basic shoulder bridge. Hello. Basic shoulder bridge. But because I like to multitask, we come back to the band if you've got one. Doesn't matter if you haven't. Have the band wide as opposed to like that, because you'll see why, it'll slide off. I've got the band over my knees. Okay, my feet are hip distance apart, and just roll back. Now I'm bringing my toes and my heels back towards my bum, which means I can reach the band. And then I squeeze the band down to the floor. So can you see how much give I've got in it? What this is doing, as long as I've got my arms straight and strong, what I'm doing now is using bingo wings. Alice girls, we just need our bingo wings used. Right, so that's my starting position. And those bingo wings are going to be switched on throughout the whole thing. Again, you don't have to if you don't want to, modify it for you. Next thing, to get that bum and hamstrings working, pelvic tilt, and then build the spine up one vertebrae at a time to this lovely ski slope position. And when you're in that ski slope position, we're going to stay here and pulse, pulse, pulse. Now then, a lot of you, what we've been doing is doing a minute of each, and we've been doing this twice. So, here we go. Ooh. Right, I'm going to tell you when a minute's up. Off you go. Pulse, pulse, pulse. So I'm squeezing my bum. I'm not going up and down. I'm staying up, squeezing. If you start to get cramp in hamstrings, straighten it out as soon as you feel it coming on and stretch it out and pull that, flex that foot back. Once cramp's got hold, it's a lot more difficult to get rid of. As soon as you feel it, do something. So I can feel my bingo wings moving now, working. Keep breathing. This is the best time to test your pelvic floor because your pelvic floor is holding up all your insides, and now gravity is taking your insides up towards your stomach. There we are, there's the minute. Right, have a little breather, hug your knees into your chest. We're going to do that same thing again. So yeah, the pelvic floor is having a really light workout because all your organs are being up at the other end of your body, towards the other end of your body, and so it hasn't got to do so much work, so it's much easier. Alright, we're ready for a second minute? Off you go. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Nice, George. Squeeze. Oh, is it that boring? Rest when you need to by pulling your knees into your chest and hugging your spine. Can't be long now. Notice I've got no weight on my neck at all. I could lift my head if I wanted to. All the weight is on my shoulders. Brilliant, well done. Lower down, pull your knees into the chest, roll around on your spine. Right, the next one, working different muscles, but it's still shoulder bridge. You can't use the band for this one. I'll show you from the end so you don't have to look at my bum. I've now got my feet and knees together, and now I go up to shoulder bridge here, and when I'm there for the minute or however long you choose, we're going open, close, open. But notice I'm not going up and down, I'm staying high, open, close. This is using your hip muscles and the different part of your glutes, and we're off for 1 minute. Feet together, hips high. You could put your fingertips on your hips and you could feel if they're dropping or if one's dropping or the other. Squeeze those inner thighs together. So I'm not helping myself here, I'm not supporting myself, just touching my hip bones, which are the bony bits. So can you feel your lower back working as well now? Ooh. Brilliant, there we go. Lower down gently. One knee into your chest, other knee into your chest, and roll around on your spine. Okay, so there's 2 of each done. Now the last one, and this is a bit of a toughie for my good ones here, I've got some experts watching. This one is a bit harder because it's doing it on one leg. Okay, so what we're doing now is we're building up to shoulder bridge, feet and knees hip distance apart. Once you're in shoulder bridge, you can either bring your leg to here or here, wherever you choose. We're going to be dropping the leg and bringing it back up without the hips dropping. So you put your fingertips here so you can feel, okay? A minute on each side. So we're going to do 1 minute on this side, then 1 minute on the other side. It's a bit of a killer for the bum. Off we go. Build up, bring the leg up, and then lower and raise. Keeping those hips high, keeping them level. And this is the speed as well. We're not throwing it up and down, we're taking it up and down. My other thigh's killing now. Don't know about yours. Don't forget, if it's too much, go back to here. But it is the hip movement, not the knee movement. So your bum's really working now. Hamstrings are really working. And I'm going to flex my foot so I get a better stretch. We've only got 1 more minute to work. There we are, it's finished. Down. Whoa, that standing leg's killing a bit. Gently, gently roll around. Right, so we've got one more minute to work on the last leg, and then I promise it's just stretches all the way. So, if you're still with me, blooming well done. And I know exactly who is with me. So see, I've got my foot flexed, so I'm getting a really good stretch. Keeping my hips level, pelvic floor lifted, core engaged. Neck is not taking any of the strain. Probably about 30 seconds left till we stretch. And we'll do some lazy stretches. Can't be long, come on. There you go, well done. Did you do it with me? Okay, so pull one knee in, other knee in, roll around on your spine. Stop that timer. Right, let's stretch. Okay, you stay where you are. I'm just turning around so you can see me. Right, full body stretch. Now, bring one knee tight up to the chest, tight as you can. Swirl the ankle round, both ways. Now, see how your hips are on the floor? Leave them there and then take the knee over a little bit. I know you could take it all the way over, but if you do that, yeah, you're lifting the hip off, so you're not getting that stretch in the bum that you need after doing all those shoulder bridges. So you leave that hip on the floor, take the body across. Now, if that stretch is relaxed, you can bring it slightly up towards this outstretched hand a little bit, towards the hand I mean. Just a bit though, not a lot. We're not trying to break anything. We're just trying to stretch off those glutes that you've just been contracting massively. So all the stretches we do at the end are all called developmental stretches, and they're called developmental stretches because they develop the stretch. So by the time you go home in 2 minutes, these muscles should be back to where they were when you started and maybe a millimetre longer. And that's why Pilates gives you a long, lean body, not a muscular body. And take it back over, swap legs. So you bring this one up so the knee is over the hip, tight into your chest, swirl the ankles round, and the other way. And then relax and take the knee slightly across, keeping that hip on the floor. Breathe. Breathe. And if the stretch relaxes nicely, bring the knee just an inch. I don't mean masses, just like a tiny bit up towards the hand. So anybody who has sciatica sort of issues that are caused by the sciatic nerve, not by a slip disc, this is the one for you. And if you have any back issues, please go and see somebody. So if you've, hang on a minute, and bring it back. Okay, the next stretch we're going to do is a thigh stretch, because they've worked really hard as well, but we're going to do a lazy one. So we're going to lie on our side like this, bottom leg is bent so you don't fall over. Bring the other leg, so I've got my foot in my hand. There's no stretch on the thigh here, but as soon as you bring the foot behind the bum and the knees together, get a nice stretch. Right, so with your back or any injury, okay, so an injury you could have just just strained a muscle, and you've got to give it time to heal on its own. But what I would do for my body, if nothing is getting at all better or it's absolute agony, I would take some, say, ibuprofen or paracetamol or something like that. And if that didn't help, I would book an appointment with the doctor, which will probably be in about 2 weeks' time. I can always cancel it. But if I wait 2 more weeks and then try and get in to see the doctor, and they say another 2 weeks, suddenly you're into 5 or 6 weeks. So I would do that. We've also got the medical centre in Oswestry. Relax. Do the other knee. I need to turn over to do that. We've got the medical centre in Oswestry, which is fantastic. But if your injury is over 3 weeks old, you can't go and see them. So if you have an injury, it's worth going to see them because they are so clever. And even if they can't help you, because say they can't help with everything, then they will tell you where to go, and they're brilliant. Or they could even book you an appointment at Shrewsbury or Wrexham for an x-ray, whatever. Brilliant place. And relax. Right, we have been contracting, doing that bridge, we were really contracting those hamstrings. Now we're going to stretch them off. And this is the laziest stretch you could possibly do. So, I'm sitting on the floor, hopefully upright. If my hips are tipping back, it's because my hamstrings are screaming at me. But mine aren't. So now I need to straighten up. Now, I still don't have a stretch in my hamstrings, so I'm going to flex my feet. I still don't have a stretch in my hamstrings because they're quite good, aren't they? Especially after all that we've been doing. Got my hands on the floor. And all I'm going to do is creep my fingertips forward. Now, I don't want to tip my pelvis back again. That's defeating the object again. So all I do is go as far forward as I can. Imagine somebody's pushing you just here above your waist. That's the best way to think of it. All my upper body's relaxed and I've got my hands here just in case I need them. And then my hamstrings have just stretched nicely. So I can go a little bit further. Did you see how far? When I say a bit further, I just went like that. That was it. Nothing else. I'm not trying to hurt myself. Now, when you're doing these developmental stretches at the end, if anything starts shaking, you're overdoing it. If anything hurts beyond mild tension, you're overdoing it. But now I know I can creep a little bit further forward. And breathe. Breathe, breathe, breathe. And again. And exhale, maybe a bit more. See, I still haven't rounded my back. As soon as I round my back, my pelvis will tip backwards and I'll have lost the stretch. And it is your stretch, not mine, so you look after yourself. That's it for me, I'm not going any further. Now, use your hands to bring you back up. Now, shake your legs out. Shake, shake, shake. Okay, we're coming up to standing now. Can you come up to standing without using your hands? What's her name? With the legs. Forgotten her name. She can, and she's like 70. If you can, without using your hands. If you have to use your hands, then I suggest you come over like this onto your knees. Then you bring one leg up with some help, press down and up to standing. And that's the most elegant way, let's be honest. We don't want to be, we don't want to be going like this, do we? And you're not allowed to make any noise. So we don't want to do that. Bring your leg, help yourself through, press down, push up. Okay, I'm told you're robbed if you don't get this. Last one. Walk around, heels down, walk around, and you are done. Thank you so much for